It's here first from IPR. I'm Megan McKinney. In today's episode, why some Iowa Republicans support raising some health insurance taxes, and later in the episode, taking a look at big cat ownership and laws. It's Friday, March 20th. Happy spring equinox. Newly released documents show the Center for Intellectual Freedom at the University of Iowa paid almost $9,000 more than it had budgeted to host its inaugural event. IPR's James Kelly reports the keynote speaker was the biggest expense.
The documents show the center paid conservative activist Chris Rufo $34,000 to speak at the inaugural event. It also spent several $1,000s more than it had budgeted on renting a space, hiring a DJ, and catering. Democratic State Representative Adam Zabner of Iowa City criticized Republicans in the State House over the event's high expenses.
For Iowa Republicans to spend $34,000 on their own pet project to bring in a super right-wing conservative influencer at an event that's not even open to the public, I just think is really tone deaf right now.
A small section of the event was open to members of the public, but they were separated from the invited guests, and the event was not heavily publicized. I'm James Kelly, IPR News.
A public library book event for middle schoolers in Bondurant was canceled Tuesday after community backlash over one of its selections. The club had chosen to discuss the book called This Book is Gay. The book frequently appears on banned or challenged book lists for its sexually explicit content and LGBTQ topics. It's commonly listed for readers ages 14 and older by publishers. The library board canceled the book club event, citing safety concerns for patrons and staff. Officials say the book club is voluntary and selections were voted on by participating students. During a Bondurant City Council meeting, leaders noted they do not oversee library programming but pledged to improve communication with the library board moving forward. The Iowa House has passed a bill that would raise taxes on HMO health insurance plans. Here's more from IPR's Katerina Sostarek.
The bill would temporarily change the tax on HMOs from less than 1% to 3.5%. Republican officials say the state needs the money to help cover a Medicaid budget deficit. Democratic Representative Austin Baith of Des Moines says it's common sense that insurance companies will pass the cost of the tax hike on to Iowans.
Either Iowans will strain to pay for that premium with their already stretched budget, or they'll no longer be able to afford insurance at all. It's those people who I worry about the most, the uninsured, that will result from this.
Republican Representative Shannon Lundgren says insurance companies have raised premiums even when the legislature cut their taxes. And she says the bill will help the state tap into more federal funds to help pay for Medicaid. The bill now goes to the Senate. I'm Katerina Sostarek, IPR News.
A bill that would have had 5 Iowa community colleges start offering a limited number of 4-year degrees has stalled in the Senate. The House passed a bill earlier this month that would have limited 4-year degree programs to only 5 community colleges as a pilot program. Senate Majority Leader Mike Klimisch says it was unclear how much that would cost, and Senate Republicans want community colleges to remain focused on giving high school students a jump start on earning college credits.
They provide a path for Iowans to go into the trades and earn a great living. And we have a shortage of trades folks throughout the state.
Iowa's private colleges and universities oppose the plan. They warn there's a dwindling number of high school graduates, and some Iowa private colleges could be forced to close if there's increased competition with community colleges. You're listening to Here First from IPR. I'm Megan McKinney. There are rules about who can keep big cats in the U.S., but after an Oklahoma man was killed by his tiger last year, animal welfare advocates expressed safety concerns about owning big cats. Taking a look at big cat ownership in the U.S., that's in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's Friday. It's Here First from IPR. I'm Megan McKinney. When an Oklahoma man was killed by a tiger last year, the incident put a spotlight on the safety risk of owning these animals. A federal law restricts who can own and breed big cats. But as Harvest Public Media's Anna Pope reports, some animal welfare advocates say those rules don't go far enough.
Ryan Easley had worked with big cats for years when he was fatally mauled by a tiger at a facility he owned and operated in Oklahoma last September.
Tonight, a shocking tragedy at an Oklahoma wildlife preserve. A tiger handler mauled to death by a tiger in front of a crowd.
A statement from Growler Pines Tiger Preserve, where the incident occurred, said, quote, "This tragedy is a painful reminder of both the beauty and the unpredictability of the natural world." Easley's death resurfaced concerns from advocates about the safety risks of owning big cats. The Big Cat Public Safety Act, a federal law passed in 2022, restricts who can own and breed big cats like lions, tigers, and leopards, and bans up-close public contact with these animals. Rebecca Wish is an expert of animal welfare law at Michigan State University. She says the act was an improvement over the way things used to be and helps to control unregulated breeding.
You know, the whole idea of how many captive cats there are is just unfathomable. And hopefully this does lead to fewer captive cats, but I'm not entirely sure it will.
Before the Big Cat Public Safety Act, Wish says there was a patchwork of state laws, some stricter than others.
It didn't preempt those laws, but kind of cooperates with those state laws. So the state laws that are more stringent with regard to big cats still stay in place.
Animal exhibits that can own big cats need a license through the U.S. Department of Agriculture and must follow specific federal standards. But some advocacy groups say animal exhibitors should seek out an outside certification from independent groups that ensure higher standards of care for animals and staff. One of those groups, the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, or AZA, has certified about 240 institutions. Dan Ash is the group's president and CEO. He says to get accredited, organizations must meet specific requirements, like having sufficient habitat space for animals.
So the difference in care is substantial, and that's why increasingly we're telling people, if you want to see these animals, go to places that really know how to care for them.
Ash acknowledges that getting this accreditation can be time-consuming and expensive. Some animal exhibitors argue these extra certifications are unnecessary, and existing federal rules are enough. But for zoologist Trista Fisher, the outside accreditation is a sign that safety for animals, guests, and staff is a priority. She's a tiger expert at the Minnesota Zoo, which is accredited through the AZA. She says when these animals cause injuries or deaths at any facility, it hurts conservation efforts meant to protect them.
What the problem is they're doing these pay-to-play opportunities. They're putting the public at risk when they're interacting with animals, whether that be a small animal or a large animal, or they themselves are interacting inappropriately, in my opinion, with a large, dangerous animal.
Harvest Public Media contacted 6 facilities in the central U.S. that house big cats, but they either declined to comment or didn't respond to interview requests. In Eureka Springs, Arkansas, Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge has been taking in abandoned and abused big cats for more than 30 years. It's accredited through the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries. Refuge founder Tanya Smith says many of these animals can't survive in the wild and deserve quality care.
We've rescued from 19 states now, from all over the country, plus 2 international rescues we've been on also just in the last year. So we've seen just about everything you can imagine, but I say that until we go on the next rescue, and it's just as bad.
She stresses these are wild animals, and when they're kept in unsuitable or dangerous conditions, sanctuaries like hers are left to pick up the pieces. I'm Anna Pope, Harvest Public Media.
Harvest Public Media is a collaboration of public media newsrooms in the Midwest and Great Plains, including IPR News, covering ag, food systems, and rural issues. I'm Megan McKinney. Thanks for listening to Here First today. I hope you have a great first day of spring. Go outside, enjoy the weather. Talk Monday.